Okay, I'm gonna bring the meeting to order. We have a resolution in front of us, resolution number 230-24. Be it resolved that the meeting be convened at 6:55 PM with Mayor Ray Muirhead in the chair. Moved by
Mike.
Seconded by
Bill.
all those in favor. That is carried. Roll call, we have Muirhead present, Kalanowicz present, Anderson present, Ray present, Sudak present, Youth Councillor Boganis present. All present and accounted for. The adoption of the agenda. We have resolution number 231-24. Be it resolved that the agenda for the regular meeting of October 8th be adopted as circulated. Moved by.
Yep.
Seconded by.
I can.
Maybe. Any additions?
Just leaving the delegation due to emergency call.
Okay. That'll be the
5
delegation.
days going, yeah.
Good. All those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. We have adoption of the minutes, resolution number 232-24. Be it resolved that the minutes for the regular meeting of September 16th and the joint committee meeting of September 22nd be adopted as circulated. Moved by.
Bill.
Seconded by.
Sure.
Tony. Any errors or omissions? Hearing, seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. Delegation, we don't have any delegations now that Sergeant Wickender is gone. We move to finance and accounts. We have, excuse me. Resolution number 233-24. Be it resolved that the financial statement for September 2024 be approved. Moved by.
Mike.
Seconded by.
Don't all jump.
Bill.
Bill.
Can't
Any
second
discussions?
everything, you guys.
Concerns? Everything's good? Okay, all those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. We have resolution number 234-24. Be it resolved that the accounts check number 15426 to check number 15482 totaling $3,989,549.45 and direct withdrawals of $97,586.74 be approved for payment. Moved by.
Bill.
Seconded by.
Mike. The reason for
Any
that,
questions on the $3.9 million?
the reason for that is all these investments are taken over
Right.
and moved to
Yeah.
another institution.
Yeah.
That was well over 3 million.
Yeah, we paid our school taxes as well, which was 270,000 change in big payments. So
They're big numbers in the
Yeah.
statement anyway, so they're hard to
Yeah.
miss. It's almost scary to sign.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
At first I looked, I was like,
Hillside.
whoa. What? And then when I looked into it, I was like, oh.
All right, all in favor? Opposed, that is carried. Bylaws. I will read this first one, the traffic bylaw. We have resolution number 235-24. Be it resolved that bylaw 06-2024 be a bylaw to regulate traffic, hereby be read a third time, signed by the mayor and CAO, sealed and become law. Moved by.
Mike.
Seconded by.
Yep.
Are there any questions or comments or concerns? Hearing none, this is a recorded vote because it's the third and final vote, so I will call for the vote. Muirhead for, Kalanowicz,
4.
Anderson,
4.
Ray,
4.
and Sudak.
4.
That is carried unanimously. Thank you. We have the off-road vehicle bylaw. We have resolution number 236-24. Be it resolved that bylaw 07-2024 being a bylaw to amend the town of Carberry off-road vehicle bylaw hereby be read a first time. Moved by.
Yep.
Seconded by.
Yeah.
Any concerns? We'll move on to the second one anyway. All those in favor? Carried. We have resolution number 237-24, be it resolved that bylaw 07-2024 being a bylaw to amend the town of Carberry ORV, off-road vehicle bylaw, hereby be read a second time, moved by,
Debbie.
Jimmy, seconded by.
Mike,
Mike. Same thing as before, all those in favor? Opposed, that is carried.
The next few should be bylaws 08-2024, not 07.
08.
Yeah.
We have resolution number 208.
No, sorry, 238, it should be bylaw 08-2024. So the resolution numbers are right, just the bylaw. number.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I'm with you now. Okay, so we have bylaw 238-24, be it resolved that bylaw 08-2024, being a bylaw to amend the town of Carberry noise bylaw, hereby be read as a first time, moved by,
Mike,
seconded by. So, pretty straightforward. All those in favor? Opposed, carried. We have resolution number 239-24, be it resolved that bylaw 08-2024, being a bylaw to amend the town of Carberry noise bylaw, hereby be read a second time, moved by,
Yeah,
seconded by,
I can.
Debbie. Same thing, straightforward, all those in
oh,
favor?
just one,
Oh,
yeah,
Okay.
I started taking a look, just, is there a clause in there about like, something like the homecoming or something?
Yeah, there's permittability.
Oh, permanent bill, okay, I thought, I just making sure, like, I read through it today, this morning, but I just.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's just the only change is the adding the
is that?
Engine rates.
The engine rate, yeah, I was just, no, but I was, yeah, again, I was just double checking, cause we're rereading it again, I'm like, what about?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Anybody else? No, all those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. We have the Health Action Committee bylaw. That's just the bylaw that dictates who can sit on the committee and we're not actually reading the bylaw. Are you gonna explain just?
Yeah, so the request came from the Health Action Committee. To amend the bylaw to add. Positions to the board, whether that's specific positions or positions at large. To allow, if there's more people that want to be a part of it, to allow that to happen, and maybe we set a maximum, minimum, and maximum, or. How to do that, and this will have to come up at the joint meeting as well at the end of the month, but. Just to kind of give you guys some time to talk about it and think about it. They're just looking for some clarification on some other things, but those things are pretty, like, it's listed in there, so. Just more or less amending the number of positions on the board, so.
How many are on there now?
There's. 2 town, 2 RM residents, 2 town, 2 RM counselors. And Service for Seniors are voting members on that board right now.
So now, do we want to talk about that here or in camera, or what do you want to do, or just to bring up to speed, I can tell about what Loretta had to say about fundraising chair.
Yeah, and that's one of the specific positions that could be a part of the if you want to call it executive board, and then whether there's subcommittees underneath that, like there is a fundraising committee, there is a Friends of the Health Action,
Yeah.
there is other subcommittees, but they're just wondering about adding whether fundraising chair or just other positions, other seats at the table for voting.
So it's not so much broken telephone or a voice on the table anyways. Yeah, they can explain, I get it.
I think you'd almost have to look at the quorum, how many are required for the quorum? And if there's 4 from RM, for example, and only 2 people from town, I think the votes need to be somehow.
Yeah, you'd have to
Equitable.
consider that, yeah.
That's the word I was looking for.
And then I think we need to have a maximum.
Yes.
We don't want to
Yeah.
have a whole bunch of people sitting around because the meetings will go on forever.
Yeah.
And then we had the fundraising chair show up. And I had a call from Loretta wanting to know if we could make her now. Going to every meeting member, voting member. So I guess that would fall under this bylaw, and somewhere in that bylaw also, we don't, it doesn't address our EDO, should that be in the bylaw?
I believe it's in there, but it's not as a voting member, it's just as a staff
Okay, I
representative.
didn't see when it broke down how many,
Yeah.
I didn't see our.
But I could be wrong on that, but I'd have to look, but that's something that we need to decide. I don't know that it needs to be a voting member, but it needs to be someone that's at the table as a representative. And it's a resource for the board too, right? It's a staff resource, that's the intent.
Yeah.
Is to have a staff resource there, not. Like. That was the whole idea behind it, is so that I don't have to go to the meetings, and
Yeah.
that would be our staff. Representative who is a resource for the board to do the things that need to happen, that we don't expect volunteers to do.
Mhm.
Was this applicable to North Cypress?
The bylaws have to be the same,
Mhm,
It would have
cause
to be
it's a
the same.
joint.
so that's why I say we have to talk about it at the joint meeting.
So again,
Mhm.
these would be non-voting members, but just representing.
Well, I think they want the voting members, don't they?
Well. The fundraising chair, yes, but we also have to be careful that we're not creating positions for just because the right person came along.
Right.
Yeah,
Right, if we wanna make a change for the benefit of the community and the benefit of the board or of the committee. That's one thing, but if we're just doing it for the sake of adding one person who is interested, then. Do we need to create positions for the other 6 people that were interested as well?
mhm,
Well, that's the thing, and the conversation I had with Loretta, like, and I'm not advocating for or against this, it just came up. What's in the best interest of the community and the Health Action Committee? Having voting members? Such as the one, the fundraising and citizens, or having, how do I put this, more top heavy on the council side? And I guess what I'm saying is there are some boards where 2 council members attend, Health Action, Rec, Cypress Planning, but there are some boards where there's just one, and we have an alternate. Is that the way to look at it? I don't know. Do we need 2 council members going from town and 2 going from the RM? When maybe
think-
one might do, and then that might free up voting for some other good members. I'm just
Mhm.
saying, I don't know what the answer is. Go ahead, Mike.
So when I was like, yeah, Mage's board, I believe there's like 2 spots that you're like, I believe, I can double check, eat my words if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But I believe like so many positions are appointed and then so many are, like 2 of them are voted in. So like that, a group of, 6 or 7 or 3 or 4 that really wanna be on the board, then those 2 spots they can run for. I don't know which spots, but maybe if that's always a kind of an issue that we're finding, cause this is all new, right? This thing we're doing.
Yeah.
So maybe like if the board has like 8 seats, maybe 6 of them are appointed and then, 2 of them are, kind of voted in. I don't know if it's that large or whatever, but it's just an idea. I don't wanna reinvent the wheel or anything, but if we're having so many people wanting to, then maybe it becomes a campaign kind of for the spot, right? And the best person gets, then it's fair, right? I'm just trying to throw some out there. I just noticed the other day for Tom Wilson.
Maybe.
just, I don't like boards getting too big, because I've sat on big boards before and they do go on, those meetings go on forever. And with such an interest in the Health Action Committee, I think we need to leave it as is. I think council needs to be on this for sure,
Yeah.
because it's more than just fundraising.
Right.
As we have walked through that in the past, I think it needs to be 2 from council, 2 from the RM. The way it's set up now, and then these fundraising, their committees to fundraise. It needs to be left at a committee
So,
designation, I guess.
what, are you done? I don't know. Yeah, okay. So how many did you say we had, Grady? 2 from the RM, 2 from the town is 4. And
There's
4
9.
is 8,
9, I think there is.
9.
Cause one's a tiebreaker, right?
That's a pretty big board.
9 voting members as it is right now.
What's your thoughts on the maximum? What do you think it should be here?
I know what it was like to schedule rec board meetings when there was 14 people.
Yeah.
Joint meetings when there was 16 people, or 14, whatever it was, it's difficult to get a commitment and have everybody have their say and
Yeah.
in a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah,
I think there definitely needs to be a limit. You know, it's,
and Kara's not on voting,
that's right.
so she still sits around the table, so you might as well say 10, is there now? Or does it
Yeah,
count?
yeah, well, no, that 9 was just the
Yeah.
voting members, yeah.
But then if you have another one around the table, that's 10 around the table, and
Yeah.
Kara has a voice, I mean, she will
Yeah.
speak up, so.
And there's somebody from the staff as well, maybe a doctor.
Yeah, there's
nurse.
the nurse and then,
There's a
yeah.
doctor and.
But are those voting
No,
members?
No.
No.
Oh,
Advisory element.
Mhm.
but just, it's still opinion around the table and
Mhm.
input, right? It takes time. So,
Takes time.
You got something?
So, I don't think we need two. I think we need one. As long as the RM goes, that there's one from each, but
Mhm.
why are we voting members? I've been on a lot of boards, I didn't even realize that was a voting position. The counselor should not be a voting position. They should be there as a resource. They should be there to say, yeah, we can do this for you. Yeah, maybe you wanna try doing this. But I don't think we need to be. Well, I mean, the Health Action Committee takes care of itself. It's a town and an RM committee, but over the years they've been there, they've been quite capable of handling themselves.
I actually don't know which way to look at this, I really don't, I think it's gonna require
And
some more
I
discussion.
will say I'm fine however it goes. If you want two voting members, that's the way it's been.
Yeah.
Want to keep it the same, I'm okay with that. I just don't understand why we have, there's very few boards, why we need two on the boards. And why are we there as a voting member?
I think just speaking from my experience, and this is my personal opinion, there's a bit of overlap, I guess, if you will, when it comes to health. We've done a lot of stuff around this table when it comes to doctors, securing doctors, recruiting doctors, nurse practitioners. The new, with the physician residents and all that, so I think when it comes to voting. I think in that case, it's not the same as some other boards, Health Action, there's a bit of overlap there. And I think probably the council, in my opinion, should have a vote. If there's stuff like that going on, but I mean, that's
So
just
here's
my
the
opinion.
issue I see. Health Action Committee wants to do something,
Mhm.
which they've done over the years. Councils, the two councils,
Yeah.
4 members, vote them out.
Yeah.
And then what?
Oh, I hear you, I know what you're saying,
Is that gonna be a little bit of a pickle?
yeah. And then. Yeah, I hear what you're
we
saying,
still have a majority from the non-council members though.
Yeah.
It's 5 and 4.
I know,
Yeah.
but if one of them doesn't like it and the
But
other
that's with
4
any
go
board.
with them, I know, but
I do find
for
it
the
easy.
council to say to a committee, you can't do that because we don't agree with you. It just to me is just wrong, like whatever meetings I go to, I'll put my opinion out, I'm not afraid to talk, I'm not afraid to suggest. I don't vote
right,
because I don't wanna take anybody off and you guys do what you want, it's your board, I'm just here as a resource and.
well, this is the thing, I mean. I know this is brought up around the table at the last term with Emma. About these bylaws, so I think now is the time, I mean, if we're gonna do this, we gotta make sure we do it right the first time, so these are valid points.
Yeah.
I'm sure,
And like I said, however it goes, I'm fine.
yeah,
That's just my opinion, and if it doesn't go my way,
but
well.
we're not gonna
I'm used
decide
to it.
anything tonight, I mean, it's gotta go to the joint council, and then the RM's gotta do their thing, and then Health Action Committee itself has to. So, but I mean, it's food for thought for everybody to think about, do you have anything on Bill, or no?
Well, I think we should ask the RM for their opinion on how they'd like to see this. We have our ideas
Yeah,
on
but
what,
we can't wait till next summer to hear it.
no, they need a timeline.
We'll talk over the joint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, another thing too is investment, like if one side's investing more than another, the one side should have more seats on the board.
That's
than the other.
true too.
Yeah,
So, cause we're investing more, right? Like in that certain project, like, 'cause
Yeah.
that's our goal as a town. So. You know, if money is being funneled from the town side, for anything, not just this, but for any committee, like if we're going, oh, this is in our strat plan, this is what we wanna do, we're kind of funneling money in. Just like any other board with investors, if someone's given 70%, someone's given 20, right, they only get so many spots at the table,
Yeah,
because they're
that's-
not investing the same.
That's a valid point,
So I just, you know, I know I'm just throwing that one out, I'm not trying to, again, reinvent the wheel, but we're talking, right? So I just
Yeah.
thought I'd mention that, because. If we're investing in so much and whatever, I don't know the ins and outs of the health acts, like I know from what reports I get.
Right.
But if we're doing this and doing this and doing this and someone else. Isn't doing that, then I think that, you know, the town should have more. Say on those boards, cause we're investing in it, right? I know it's not a business or whatever, but it's still our. The money, our taxpayer money that we're funneling into something to get something done, right? So that's just my opinion.
Maybe.
Would it be possible before we go to the joint, or before we come back to this topic with our council? Can we get a copy of the Health Action Committee's terms of reference?
I don't see why not.
I can share that.
I'd like to read through that.
Yeah,
Before I make a
I'd like to
decision.
see that too, send
Yeah,
us
probably
all.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I think I sent out the bylaw. But not the terms of reference.
Mhm. I don't think I've seen the terms
It
of
might even
reference
just, it might
for
even still
that.
be on this thing.
Yeah, I can
Okay.
distribute that.
That'd be great, thanks.
Okay. Anybody else got anything on that, or, I guess, like I say, this is not gonna happen overnight, so this is gonna be a permanent deal, so we have to. Talk this thing through.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
we'll move forward, we'll go to unfinished business. 1 and 5 intersection. I'm assuming that's, the letter of response we got back from government, is that?
Yeah, I think we talked about that at the last meeting, basically everything's back on the table though, it's just something that we wanted to keep as a standing item on the agenda.
Yeah.
I did get an email from the consultant last week, they're gonna be doing some core samples out there in the next couple of weeks to start seeing what the. Geo surveys are like there for materials, and then we should be having another update meeting here. Sometime soon by the sounds of it, they're still looking at. Winter to announce what the final.
Brandon, today, two potato trucks trying to get from the plant side across the highway, 25 minutes to get on the highway, so they gotta do something.
Well, we've had 2 accidents out there
Yeah.
since.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
One
big
not
trucks
related
when
to the
there's crazy
intersection.
traffic.
Yeah,
I'm supposed to do a online interview with, or, yeah, Portage Online radio interview about that, so. Just letting you know.
I don't know if you guys saw my comments on Portage Online, but my
Mhm.
frustrations were showing through that. In that article, I think, so.
Yeah.
Digging season would have been an ideal time for those consultants to be sitting out there watching.
And they knew that, I told them that,
They were told last year too.
especially with all that other construction.
yeah.
Okay, that's all on that. Let's go to outside user insurance coverage. Anything more on that?
In our meeting with the insurer, we went over a bunch of information with that, basically it's coming down to it's something that we should have in place. Is using that, so there's gonna be more to come on that. Likely at the joint meeting, as to what that's gonna look like, but going forward, we're gonna have to be. Putting that in our rental agreement, it's cheap, it's depending on what you're using and what you're using it for. $25 is, or $50 a session to $150 to $200 for the whole season. It's like a hockey league or something like that, so.
So does that include all rentals, say for a wedding or a
Yep.
social?
Mhm.
Costs are higher for alcohol permits,
That's what I was.
yeah, so depending on what the usage that. And the number of people, and that's where you get your. Differences in money, like I think it's about $100 for an event with an alcohol permit and a couple hundred people.
And it's gotta be easy, it's gotta be simple to.
It cannot be any simpler, you go online, you put in information, it takes 5 minutes. And then they get a printout and they provide the proof of insurance, and actually, if it's in one of our facilities, they set it up, so it's just a drop down for the facility, you pick it. And then once they get it done, then it sends us automatically a copy of the insurance.
That's perfect.
That
There
is
you go.
good.
Yeah, if it's that easy, that'll
Yeah,
work.
they can choose to use whatever, that's what our insurer provides, they have a portal that you can use, but you can pick whoever you want for liability insurance.
Perfect.
This would be
Sounds good.
a no brainer.
It's a requirement actually on some things, so.
Yeah,
Good.
Okay, that's everything on that? Nobody has anything more?
Mm-mm.
Policing level.
So information really on this one, we've sent a letter in on behalf of all of the municipalities that have, are connected to Blue Hills RCMP district. That's gone to the minister requesting a meeting at the fall convention as a delegation as the whole group. And we've also requested a meeting with the RCMP brass at the convention as well. With the same group. All of the municipalities are on board to be a part of this, and we're gonna advocate for some more officers out here as much as we can, so.
Is there going to be a spokesperson for that group? Cause I would imagine it'd be fairly large, or it's just.
Yeah, there'll be a couple of people that'll speak on that, the group, and
Yeah.
you may have been volunteered by a municipality.
There you
to
go.
do that. We're kind of spearheading it, us and Elton, so somebody said, well, it sounds like Harvey and Elton will be our spokespeople, so. But we'll see,
Oh, yeah.
we'll,
Get practice.
we'll organize
Being the mayor, right?
Yeah,
Aren't you glad you did it?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and as we've seen tonight, the police sergeant has to leave because he doesn't have enough people.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
Okay, A&M Fall Convention. I guess there's a resolution here. I will read resolution number 240-24. Be it resolved, the council authorized Mayor Muirhead, Councillor Anderson, and CAO Stevenson to attend the AMM Fall Convention in Winnipeg, November 25th to the 27th, 2024, with costs covered to include accommodation, mileage, meals for the applicable policies and bylaws. Moved by,
Mike,
seconded by.
Bill,
So. See, there's one category missing. Companionship. Take it, that's a no, okay.
I'll go
Thought
with
I'd
you.
ask.
I'll go with you.
Well, you got a companion you taking?
Well, there might be one on Portage,
Well said.
just saying, so.
No, I hear you. Other than that, is there anything else on this? All those in favor, opposed, carried. Let me join. Highway signage.
So this is an update on the costs, it's, and we talked a little bit about it at the joint meeting. But just to bring you guys up to speed, it's looking like for the 3 signs. We have to reapply for permits, so there's fees for that. One landowner is looking at charging some rent annually, so the costs have gone up, it's right around $13,000, 13 to 14,000 is what the total is gonna be, and then 50/50 if the RM goes in on it. If not, we'd be looking at that full cost for us to change the billboards to just Carberry billboards, so. More to come on that, but just so you guys are on the same page as far as what we're looking at, and we're just kind of in a holding pattern right now until we get green light from if it's gonna be a joint venture. If not, then it'll come back here and probably go in next year's budget.
okay,
Sounds good.
Good, thank you. Now we'll move on to general business. We have tax sale canceled. Pretty much speaks for itself.
That's pretty easy.
Yeah. B, new CCBF agreement.
So there's a new 10-year agreement for the Canada Community Building Fund, which is formerly the gas tax. It's gone up a little bit and there's incremental increases over the next few years, so that's been signed and we're waiting on our second payment. There's been a hang up because not enough municipalities have got their gas tax audits into the province, then the feds can't audit the province because there's not enough in, so ours is done, but we just haven't, there's not enough in there, so there's a little bit of a hang up, so we're waiting on about $48,000 or something like that, so.
So this is increasing the carbon tax?
No, it's a gas tax, so.
Federal.
The federal portion of the
Fuel
gas,
tax.
fuel taxes, not the carbon tax.
Hey, when I was reading that, the numbers weren't the same. Right within the letter, talking 221,000 and 240 odd. There were discrepancies that when you looked at all the figures, something was being added or subtracted, I couldn't make it out.
Which letter?
Well, the one with the provincial letterhead,
Yeah.
I was reading that.
You know,
That's the one that was addressed to me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
245, wasn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah,
That's not the gas tax though.
That's a different one.
That's the municipal operating grant.
Yeah,
yeah, no, that,
Gas tax is only like $98,000.
okay, no, it was a municipal operating, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any more on that? Questions on that, so? C, we have the Community Safety Officer Program, I'm assuming that stands for?
Yeah, so in in the report to council on CSOs. If I can just find that, you guys have a chance to read that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I was looking at.
Sorry, it's all good. Ah,
I got it right here.
what's the title?
Yeah, so-
Regulation. Oh, that's, yeah, no, that's only part of it.
Oh, here we go, report to council CSOs. So I did have some email discussions back and forth with Portage on their program, and that's where I got the costing from. So there's a couple different ways to look at it if you wanna look further into it. I know that there's probably some other municipalities interested in being a part of it with us. The only thing is, if you do that, are the people gonna be where you need them to be, when you need them to be?
Yeah.
I think that's the question mark all the time when you're sharing, like, sharing. Whether it's Oakland, Wawanesa, or Glenboro, South Cypress, if you're in Stockton or north of Wawanesa,
Yeah.
and we need them here,
Yeah,
then, you know, are we again stretching it too thin, or is it like 2 days here, 3 days there, and then if it's an on-call thing, like, they're not gonna be emergency responders, they're gonna be, you know, Highway Traffic Act and Mental Health Act and Impaired Intoxicated Persons Act and all those things that they can enforce. But there's also the opportunity for bylaw enforcement there as well, right, to bring that back in. That's a $10,000 budget line. I know it doesn't compare to the $166,000 for the first year. But we also don't need to spend $60,000 on a brand new vehicle, right? There's options out there that. You know, right now, at one of the dealers in town, there's a $15,000 Ford Explorer, right? So
Yeah.
there's other options to
Mhm.
make that cheaper. But that just to give you guys an idea of.
Yeah, like that place up in Headingley there always sells old used police cars there.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
there's lots of options for cheaper, and there's a new business in town that does upfitting that would probably
Yeah.
help, so, so.
Yeah, the only thing, or.
Yeah, go ahead.
The only thing I'd hate to see is that this be our. Stepping stone, you know, to BPS or Winnipeg Police, you know, like what
Yeah.
Rivers had.
Yeah,
I don't think it would, like, we got the right person, right? Like what kind of like Cornwallis has, but I know they're not gonna be a police officer, right? But I just worry about. All of a sudden investing so much and then we end up like Rivers or something where there's no one really to do it.
Yeah, and that's.
That's all, I'm just, boy,
yeah.
I guess that. The devil's advocate on that, right?
No, there's-
Right, I'd go
there.
for this 100%, like I'd like. This in Carberry 100%.
Yeah,
I
the
thought
risk-
about it from the other side, like what happens if you've got somebody that's at the end of their career about to retire, and this might be a good retirement.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's lots of options, and that's the thing is if you, and I think that's what happened in Portage is they got those three and they trained them and then
Yeah.
they ended up getting into an academy somewhere, a depot or whatever.
Yeah.
And used it as to get that last piece of the puzzle so you could get into a different police force, which you're never gonna stop that at any age, right?
No.
You look at, there's a guy who was in the RCMP social media, there's a guy in the pod that came back as an auxiliary officer after he worked in the RCMP for 40 years or whatever it was, right? He came back to work with his kid, and so there's always that option, but at least this way, if you have your own CSO, you've got some control over when they work and what they're doing and all those things, right? And they're now your employee to say, this is what we want you to focus on, and we want you to watch this stop sign for 2 days, and we want you to do these things. That are always those issues that we keep having because we don't have that police.
There's also an agreement, if we pay the money to put you through this, you owe us whatever. years.
Return of service.
It doesn't cost us anything to put in the school.
Okay.
They
Well,
cost,
then
it
that's-
cost Portage $600 for 3 people to go to the.
Well, even
The
the
province covers all of the expenses when it comes to this.
even the outreach stuff, like the life safety stuff, what they could do with, handing out the things for an ice cream if you're wearing a bicycle helmet and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
the options are-
It'd be, like, again, it would be really good, really good. And I know that, right now, that Brandon's, they're police cadets, have you seen their cars and stuff?
Mhm.
They almost look like you're in Ireland,
Yeah.
they got their own decals and they got their own uniforms and stuff. And I've seen them around the college, cause the college is a training,
Yeah.
place, but, they're really good, they're always driving around, they're always in Dinsdale Park, in Mount Canadian. They're always just kind of that visibility, they're not really like the cops that can open the door and the canine come running out, but even then the car just pulling up. Well, deters people a little bit, they're always downtown
Mhm.
and stuff, it's great, it's great.
What, you got anything, Debbie, on this? or-
No.
Okay,
I think it's a good idea.
No, just thought I had a good idea, but apparently not.
but really, you got anything?
No, just pondering if they, did read that. And I'm
So just a question on that,
not
then,
sure what to think of it yet.
Mhm.
would that be a joint thing then, or just us?
It's up to you guys.
Well, that's what I was
You
gonna
wanna
add
explore it on
to it.
your own, or you wanna,
Yeah,
you wanna try and partner on
Yeah, we're
something
gonna
else?
partner with other municipalities. One would be, our Cypress language would make sense, then you're at least local.
The thing about it is, just further to what you said, I'm not downplaying, I'm like Mike said, I'm being the devil's advocate. Something happens in Carver, you need them right now. Langford's a good distance away too, so, but I mean, we'd have to do something to, it would make sense to partner with North Cypress Langford, I mean, if you're gonna partner with anybody. So. it's
So you can
just-
put it on we can put it on the joint agenda to talk about it.
Doesn't
But
matter.
if you guys want, and the question, I guess, is if you wanted. Me to investigate further into how this would look and what the process is to set it, because I think it's a bit of a lengthy process to get. The community registered as a community policing, and there's all these other steps that you gotta do with the province, but I didn't wanna go any further than this until you guys said. It's something that we're interested in and we can explore.
Well, I think if we go around the table, it's something worth looking at, don't you, Mike?
Absolutely, yeah.
Debbie?
Yes.
Ronnie?
It costs us nothing to
Bill?
look into it.
Yeah, we should
Well, I
look
gotta pay
into it.
me. You gotta pay me.
Well, we gotta pay you either way, unfortunately.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's worth looking into, and, what are you saying, it's a little premature to put it on the joint?
No, we can still do that to see if there's any interest at
Okay.
all, and if there is, then we can go up on it a bit, if there's not, then.
I mean, I think just with what's been happening in Carberry just this past summer and previous summers and how stretched thin the RCMP are. We gotta do something.
Well, and you look at your strat plan from a bylaw enforcement perspective, right, that's on there.
Yeah.
And this is a way to sort of be able to look after some of that stuff too, parking and
Mhm.
derelict properties
Yeah.
and.
Yeah, we have our
animal
own,
control.
yeah, we have our own person and stuff doesn't go missing when they take things out of them.
So if we got, I'm getting ahead of myself here, if we got this person. What would we do for office space? Like I said, I read in the report that, was it your report that said we could hook them up somehow with office space and
Yeah.
supplies and so on? Is that like in here or where would it be?
That's something that we would figure out.
That's to be
Yeah.
determined.
It's not like we have, like, one of the expense items that pretty much had was office space rental was like $1,900 a month.
Yeah,
Right, we've got enough property that we could put. It's not like they need a big space, right? A lot of the administration is gonna be done through here anyway. It's probably somebody that could use a basement office even here, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like the public is gonna be going in to see them or
Right.
anything, so
okay.
we've got some options that way to save on some overhead.
No, sounds like a plan. Let's look into it. Good. Next is engine retarder brake signage. So we have a resolution here. Resolution number 241-24, be it resolved that council requests the appropriate signage from Manitoba Transportation and Infrastructure regarding the prohibition of engine brakes within the town limits of Carberry at a cost of $450 plus GST each. Moved by,
So moved.
seconded by
Yeah,
Bill. Any questions on this? So
Oh.
that's prohibition of engine brakes within the limits of the town of Carberry, but we're looking at more towards North Cypress Langford though, aren't we?
Yeah, but we can take care of our stuff, we can't do anything about it.
Okay.
So that,
How many signs do we need?
well, we're gonna need the ones that are related to highways that they have to put in, you're gonna need 3.
There's 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, but only First Avenue and Wellwood Road are the only ones that are highways, the rest we can
Oh,
do
I see.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so like third, fourth, Fanny. We can look after all those on our own, just
Okay.
these ones have to come from highways, cause
Okay.
that's part of the
Okay,
process.
3 signs. Okay,
Any more on that? All those in favor? Oh, that is carried. I just want to quickly write something down here. Okay. Next is medical house supplies.
So we're able to take possession of the property on Friday now, that all the legal side of things have been taken care of as of today. We are gonna need to buy a few things to. I guess make it a little homier. And just set it up properly, so there'll be some expense that goes along with that, we're gonna keep it reasonable. I would say 1,000-1,500 probably is.
Do you need a couch?
Hey,
Do you need a couch?
no, there's already a couple in there. But there is some stuff that we need, just
There you go.
small appliances,
How
TV,
much?
linens and some pots and pans and stuff like that, necessities that. It's not gonna be the Ritz, but it's gonna be a little bit better.
Well, coffee maker, toaster, that
Yeah.
sort of. you know.
Yeah,
Do we need a motion for that?
we'll put it in the. budget.
Everybody good with that?
Information.
Yep, absolutely.
good.
I'll talk to my wife.
Yeah, okay. All right, sale of old Christmas lights. I think Kara's got some Christmas lights for sale. doesn't
Hey,
she?
old town, see you later, get rid of them, get them out of the
Yeah.
shop.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys saw it, there's the 3 of the small candles.
Yeah.
19 of the bigger candles. 3 of the trees, 20 red stars and 4 white stars, so. You all will just tender them.
Mhm.
We paid $500 for the whole works of them, so. Whatever we get back, and they've repurposed some of them and put new LED lights on everything, so apparently they look pretty good, I haven't really seen them yet.
Candles, served on that?
They're supposed to be candles. So we'll put a tender out for that this week.
Okay, I'm just writing something down here as I think of it. Okay, that's straightforward. That infrastructure reimbursement policy. So we've got a resolution here, resolution number 242-24. Be it resolved that council adopt policy TS 01-2024, the infrastructure reimbursement policy, moved by,
Mike,
seconded by.
Debbie,
Everybody aware what that is? Questions?
pretty straightforward.
yeah,
All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. We have the public facilities naming policy. We have resolution 243-24, be it resolved that council adopt policy GG 04-2024, the public facilities naming policy, moved by,
Yeah,
seconded by
Whatever.
Johnny. Comments on that? Is everybody clear on all this going forward? And this has got to go to the RM as well, or is this just for town for now?
This is just the town, the same policy I forwarded to NCL, CAO. For them to look at, and then we'll just adapt it to be
Okay.
joint as well. So I just basically took it and edited it, so it's. So Wellington, they have a copy of that right now, so.
does this need to be communicated to the user groups as well?
Yeah, once the policy's done and passed, and then we can share it with the public, it'll go on the website and everything too, so.
Okay,
Okay, nothing more. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. You have the memorial sign at Daylily Park, McDonald.
You want me to read this letter first, or you want to talk about it?
Yeah, you can read the letter and then I can explain.
So this was addressed to council, dear council members, we are writing in regards to the sign and support structure located in the Lily Garden at the north side of town. The land on which this garden sits was at one time the ownership of my parents, Murdo and Maureen McDonald. It ended up in the possession of the town of Carberry without any payment ever being made. As the garden construction was already underway, my father graciously signed the legal transfer of the land and donated the land to the town for the purpose of the garden. An offer was made that a marker would be erected in the garden acknowledging this donation, and that this marker would be perpetually maintained by the council or councils. This marker has now fallen into disrepair and is in need of replacement. What we are proposing is replacing it with a granite marker and an appropriate support system. It would be far more weather resistant and unless vandalized, lasts for a very long period of time. We realize that this is not a small task or small ask, so we would propose sharing the costs in some capacity with the town or both councils. Thank you for your consideration. Signed Randy McDonald on behalf of Randy and Grace McDonald.
So Randy, contacted me the other day, he came to pick me up and we went out and had a look at it. I don't know if you all seen the picture they put on the group chat.
Mhm.
It's looking in disrepair, and for lack of a better way of putting it, it's just cheap looking. It's just a couple of 4x4s and a cheap looking sign, and you've seen where all the letters are wrinkling.
Yep.
So, I mean, I think that's a big deal when his parents donated the land. I mean, that's a big deal for the town of Carberry.
Yep.
So he wants to go granite. I don't know if any of you have been at the cemetery or plan to go there sometime, but that circle that Muriel McPhail has, there's a small granite one there, and it's not like a granite, like a headstone. It's only like that thick kind of thing, eh? He was thinking something like that, a little more substance, a little more classier looking, and possibly like a metal holder of some sort. And while we were there, like that, where it is now, it kind of just stands there on its own. And so I asked him, I said, you know, seeing as how your parents and they donated the land, I mean, where would you like this? Like the wooden structure there, would you like it more on that? So he would look around at it. Yeah, so that's where that's at. And I honestly think it would be well overdue by the look of that sign out there. I don't want to overstep my bounds, but I would say in a case like that where they donated the land to begin with, and I mean, we've used that land extensively for memorials and the garden and the wooden structure. If it's not too much, we would just pick up that bill, but that's a council decision. I'm just saying. Go ahead, Mike.
I'm okay with that, but how did it get, just for my histories, like why is it called the daylily?
I think that's just the first bunch of flowers that were put there and that's
Yeah.
how it got named.
Yeah,
So just the one up,
I know where you're going with this.
can that be the McDonald Daylily Park?
I hear it, yeah. It
If
would be the worst
we,
thing.
like, why can't we suggest that?
Well, it would be a nice gesture on our part.
It's still the Daylily Park, but the McDonald Daylily Park, right? And then we can put, if we're gonna get the,
Well, Gerald Blair actually did that, to begin with. didn't he?
Well, no, we're talking about the donation of the
He
land.
donated all the plants, not the
Mhm.
land.
I realize that, but you need to remember that he donated all the plants to.
But yeah,
if it's the bold, the two of them, might it be the McDonald Daylily Park, like, so it's still the Daylily Park, maybe the McDonald Daylily Park. Or
but
something, I don't
anyways,
know, just,
but we're talking about the McDonald's right now, so that's kind of where that came from. I was actually surprised when we went out there, cause I don't go out there and I never actually knew that sign was there. Until I looked at it and I thought, geez, how cheap can you get?
well, at first I thought you meant like it was a new sign, wasn't made very long.
Oh, it's been there for a lot of years.
I didn't know.
He gave me the history on the whole land, Randy, and I kind of forgot it. Anyways, long story short, he donated it, so that's where that's at, so. If everybody is receptive, we can, I said it's not gonna happen overnight, so we'll get together and. Figure out what they want to put on it and so on, we're all good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, they give you a direction, Brady? Yep. Next one is medical radiation technologist week. We have a resolution, excuse me. Resolution number 244-24. Whereas medical radiation technologists are an essential link between patients and the sophisticated medical imaging and radiotherapy technology in Manitoba's healthcare system. And whereas the town of Carberry recognizes the vital contributions of medical radiation technologists to safe and appropriate health care in this province. And whereas other healthcare providers depend on the specialized skills and expertise of medical radiation technologists to ensure patients receive timely diagnosis and treatments. And whereas Medical Radiation Technologist Week is an opportunity to recognize and acknowledge the expertise and dedication of medical radiation technologists, as well as to encourage others to enter this vital profession. Therefore, be it resolved that we do by these presents proclaim and declare that November 3rd to the 9th, 2024 shall be known as Medical Radiation Technologist Week in the town of Carberry. Moved by,
Mike,
seconded by.
Yep.
Tony. All those in favor? Oh, that is carried. We are at reports. We are looking forward to the report from the youth counselor. You're on, Krister.
The student council fundraiser for the potato sale went really well. They sold around 120 bags of potatoes. The last school census we had, there was 319 students attending, which is 2 less than last time. October 23rd, there's a dance happening. Not sure if there is a theme, but there probably is. There's a varsity boys tournament happening this Friday and Saturday, and we're hosting that.
What sport?
For volleyball. There's 2 students that are going to cross country provincials at Clearwater. Hayden Reynolds and Tatum McCutcheon are the two students. And that's happening tomorrow. On Thursday, there is going to be a school student and the student perspective panel at NECI. The provincial exam dates for grade 12s came out. The ELA exam was happening from January 7th to 10th. And January 23rd for the pre-calculus exam. Also, we got a plaque for our band program in school. We got a plaque for that, for being the top 10 cities in Canada to send kids to music camp. And at the start of November, there will be, I think, up to 5 kids going to Brown University to go play with their band. Normally that happens at the end of October, but not exactly sure who's going yet. I'm probably going.
What do you play?
I play flute in the band. And this will probably, yeah, and very sad. And this will probably be my 3rd year going.
Oh,
The Indigenous Culture Day that in Nepal went really well. Grade 5s are going to Nepal for the day for a soccer day. Grade 7s are going to Spruce Woods for a field trip tomorrow. And first band fundraiser for Edmonton has finished, and there will be a new one coming soon. Haven't gotten a package for that yet. And updated the nutrition program. There's a lot of kids using it. And it's not just like one kid's taking it every day. It feels like it. Many different kids are using it on different days. So it's all going pretty well.
Is that like a breakfast program?
Yeah, they hand out like yogurt tubes, granola bars, and fruits.
oh,
the province did it. I seen it this morning, actually, when I was dropping, because I never really get to drop Bentley off
Right.
anymore, but this morning I did, and they had with the little cart, right, with the boxes.
Yeah,
And they have like snacks and drinks and whatever in it, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, pretty cool.
good.
Wish I had that.
So that's being used really well.
Good.
Good, good.
That's it.
Yeah, that's all I have.
Thank you very much.
Good, thank you.
Going good.
CAO report. I think we've all
Yeah.
seen that. Any questions on that? Economic Development Report, we've seen that. Kara's got some good stuff on the go, so hopefully we'll see some good stuff.
And we have a meeting tomorrow night, right?
Hmm.
Is that meeting still on tomorrow night?
Yeah.
Okay.
Committee reports. Protective Services.
Require a meeting in a couple of weeks.
Oh, okay.
Ball coming up on December
Oh, yeah.
7th.
Okay. Public Works.
The sidewalks done, lines are painted on Fourth Avenue and, Market Street on the walking paths.
Guess it's only a week.
West lift station has been banked up with dirt. What else is going on? Well, the two new trucks seem to be busy enough. We had a ride in one the other day and
You
it
take them,
was,
it was a good truck.
yeah, it seems to be.
Yeah, if you like driving the dogs. Good enough.
It's comfortable enough.
But it's gotta have a micro.
That's it building, or
No.
that's it building, rather.
That's it.
Waste Management.
The scale is operational. We got a couple of really good staff members out there. I'm quite impressed, actually.
Very impressed. They've really got that place looking good.
Contractor was finishing up. I hadn't been out there for a few days.
Today was the day, wasn't it, or
They
yesterday?
moved in today, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we got moved over and everything, so.
I think it's a pretty nice building anyway.
Yeah.
So I guess, next thing will be to start saving for a loader.
What do we do with the old building? Are we selling it right away, or are we keeping it there for now, or what?
There was discussion maybe about it going to Fairview.
Oh, right.
It's a new police office.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Well, you have to move it.
John.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a pretty sweet ice fishing shack, maybe.
I wasn't gonna say it. I was trying to keep quiet.
speaking of that, what are we doing with the job, John, now? Are we going to decommission it for mouth there?
Yeah, the plan was now that we'll have to decide if we're gonna keep it, like buy it out, keep it for events, or if we wanna let it go. So that'll be have to be discussed for joint meeting.
Joint meeting there. Okay,
So get an every meeting in 2 weeks. Our meeting's only a week. It's second Tuesday already.
okay.
Yes.
I think
Is it,
that
Bill?
is- I think so.
Okay, archives. Hasn't been a meeting.
Not recently.
Garden coming up, isn't there?
I
Yeah,
haven't
I
got
think
it.
so, end of the month,
Yeah.
yeah.
Arts Council.
Hasn't been one recently. I gave my report the last time.
Okay,
I did update the lease agreement and send it to Tamara for the
Okay.
pony to review.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cemetery. Me and Bill went for a little drive the other day to see the new,
Windmill,
like the new windmill. It's gonna be being put up right away. I think it's all assembled by the way it sounds.
yeah, looks like it's gonna be pretty nice.
It's gonna be quite a nice, it's 10 feet in diameter, windmill part, and it's 10 feet long from tip to tail kind of thing. And it's
Yes.
red and white. I have pictures of it, but I deleted them. So
And is it a dedicated?
it will
Is
be,
there- okay.
there'll be a ceremony and there'll be some dedication towards the family that donated some money to it.
Yeah,
And Kenny has been filling in all the pots out there too, so like all the flower pots have been.
Yeah.
He's working on topping them up.
Do you have anything else on cemetery? Bill?
No, I don't. I do have a picture of it somewhere.
Museum.
Their last meeting I missed because we had a meeting, I believe, or something like that, so.
Handy Van Senior.
The new handy van is supposed to be here mid-October, which is a little bit earlier than we had planned. There hasn't been a meeting that I know of, so
Where are they gonna park it? The barrel's full. Are they gonna move an old one out and park it somewhere else?
well, I imagine the old one's gonna go up for sale at some point, but
I think so, yeah.
That's it for that. Library.
I'm sorry, I missed the last one.
We got the minutes
We got the
from
minutes
WML.
Yeah,
yeah, we're at the minutes.
yeah. it's working.
Self-action. I think we kind of covered that or.
Yeah,
Well, we have the two doctors, but we're having trouble getting them all knocked out to make an office big.
Yeah, I signed the documents there on behalf of the Health Action Committee. They, well, not unanimously, majority passed to pay for whatever cost it is to take that wall out. And I also sent an email to Brian Will, he's the head guy for capital or.
Yeah.
So I told him in this email, I said, I don't want it to be perceived that I'm stepping on toes or overstepping my bounds as mayor, but we had talked about this before. They didn't want to do it the last time when we took a tour with him, and he sent a very political response back and one of these kind of things, so. I guess the email I sent and what health action will hopefully get something going, so. That's where that's at, because I left the health action committee meeting early because I didn't see Grady, so. I don't know.
So the wall is between two offices?
Yeah, on the east side of the hallway, there are two exam rooms and they're very small. The new doctor would like to see the wall taken out between the two and make a big one. And that was brought up before as well, like several months ago when you and I toured. And it was kind of every reason why they didn't want to as opposed to why they want to. And then with Prairie Mountain Health, I'm going to assume they're pinching pennies these days due to everything else, so. Health Action has decided, I guess, to, if it's okay, they'll step up and pay for it, get a contractor to do it, and wouldn't think it'd be that big of a deal, but we'll see what they say. All I got, was there anything, oh yeah, we have Carly McKinnon as the new town rep, she attended the meeting last time.
Yeah.
Beth Proven attended, and she is the chairperson of fundraising committee. She has extensive experience and knowledge in fundraising, and she come up with some pretty good ideas, and this is what we talked about earlier on in the meeting about membership and that sort of stuff, so. That's all I got on health action. Is there anything else, Bill?
No, I think that's pretty much covered.
Good. Planning, we're having a planning meeting on Thursday, day after tomorrow. Rec board, we had a rec board meeting and straightforward, we talked about the campground, just talked about startup, season starting, who's in charge of what, just, we haven't had a rec board meeting for a while, so we just having one, and we're having one next month, aren't we, Debbie?
Mm-hmm.
Just to
Yeah.
make sure we're on top of all stuff. We talked about putting some new, well, not new to us, bleachers in. When the Keystone redid all their seating, Jamie Smart got a bunch of their old bleachers and they wanna put kind of a half row or something in and just to see what they're like. So that they might try that. They're gonna put new heaters in, so that's gonna be going soon, and. What else? What am I missing, Debbie?
They talked about the, delay in the zip line out there because.
Oh, yeah, they're
of
missing a
art.
crucial part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something in there. And the planting of the grass was a big problem.
Yeah,
Because of lack of water this summer. They're gonna try again in the spring.
I talked to Grady about that earlier today, that whole campground thing. I think at some point, if we can all gather together, if it's still gonna be nice. To go out there and physically look at that place,
Mm-hmm.
cause I have a hard time talking about it and I don't know.
They also talked about, the approach going in and
Yeah.
it being at the wrong place. Because somebody was asking on the committee what the hollowed out area was for, and of course it's water drainage.
Retention pond.
Right, but after the approach was built, you were explaining that, after the approach was built. You found out you didn't need that if the approach hadn't been there, or somebody on the recreation committee mentioned that. At the board, and then so somebody else had on the committee mentioned, well, why are we coming in there? And I thought, well, this really isn't the time to be bringing this up, it should have been brought up with planning, like, why are we coming in off the highway like that? We should be going down the street by those apartment blocks out there, I'm sorry, I don't know the street.
Yeah.
And go right through to where.
Yeah.
By the soccer field and then in and around so that. People aren't stopping on the highway to come in and holding up traffic, and whereas they could have gone down that street
There's gonna
through.
be a building there. someday.
That's,
why the
that's,
coming from
yeah,
south.
that's why I said, it
Yeah.
wasn't really the time to, that should have been all decided in the planning part of
And
it.
that's probably access for the campground. It's not access to the facility access will come off campground, but that's campground access, so unless you're gonna bring everybody in. And drive all the way across that.
Well, that's
field
what they
back
were
to the
saying,
campground.
like, back
Like that
and
whole,
over.
That whole area, campground area, I mean, I think at some point we need to get our head wrapped around this, who's in charge and where are we at? Like, one time we're planting grass and then we're not planting grass, and then we're getting dirt, and then this is.
Well, and gravel and the wet spot there is right at the front. When you drive in, like there's a lake there as the water gathers now, it's really not gathering in the pond, it's gathering in the middle of but
There's
that's
no culvert
supposed to
there yet.
be, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
or
supposed to be,
Yeah.
it's not done yet.
No, there's a lot of question
It's
marks still, and I have a
Like for
hard
it
time
to be,
following.
yeah, for it to be open, that's because. That's because I feel, and this is just my feeling, that there's a lot of. Meeting decisions happening outside of the committee.
I was gonna say, I think you have about 8 managers and.
Yeah,
Well, there's
An
just,
admin person.
everybody's making up their own minds to do something at a different time, talking, well, this one talked to this one, and then a decision was made, and then they changed their decision,
Yeah.
but it's not discussed at the committee table. Yeah, I agree with you, Ray. I think we should be getting together.
yeah, I
the
just see
group
where we're at,
between
we should
the
have
two
like,
boards
just like
and the
this, we should
committee.
just have like a point form where we're
Yeah,
at, where we need
yeah.
to be and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What's going to be the progression of events,
Yeah.
in other words?
Right.
How is this going to?
Because it was supposed to kind of be ready, like at least when I come on the board and was getting caught up on that. It was supposed to try to be opened by this August, the end of this August.
So-
Well, it's not even near.
Just a question then, if the because the rec board has more to do than just the campground,
Oh, I know that.
right? So why doesn't the rec board, why don't you suggest that the rec board makes the like a campground committee and have one person like that? To get that worked out,
Not the worst idea in the world.
because then they could just report to the rec board and all that talk and all that around the table and everybody trying to do something.
Yeah,
Doesn't happen. There's a committee and there's a leader of that committee and they report to the rec board and then they can go from there, because it seems like to me, from what you're telling me, is that the rec board is sitting around the table and things aren't really happening, but then once the rec board meeting's over, then, well, we gotta get it done. We gotta get this done by this time. We gotta get this done by a rings. We gotta get this, but there's no one actually being like the project manager, like there's about 9 project managers.
yeah,
Am I right?
Well,
Mhm.
Well, there should, then I suggest you make the committee that takes a hold of that. And anybody wanting to build a park or whatever, they talk to that committee and then the committee reports to the rec board and then the rec board makes a recommendation to them
yeah,
on the decisions.
You need a list of tasks and what order they're gonna be done, and then somebody to look
The
after.
whole
each.
problem is that we couldn't get volunteers to sit on the rec committee, so or the rec board. They're
Is that-
still looking for more
is that
membership
something
there.
that would be worth being on the agenda for the joint, or no? Well, the whole, like, we're talking about. Because, like, not this summer, but last summer, I was under the impression that they got the grass seed, they got the fertilizer, I think some of that was donated, and it was gonna be planted. Then it's not planted, what happened?
No water.
And then there was this, and then there was that, like, there's gotta be,
Well, I thought some of that got done.
Well, I heard about
Yeah.
water, like when you put the seed down, there was no water, there was no
And then it
sprinklers,
blew
so like how
crazy.
and then the seed wouldn't grow, and then everybody would add the grass didn't grow.
Yeah.
Oh, we wasted all this money on seed, right?
Yeah,
So. Sometimes you gotta listen to the experts and make a decision on,
yeah.
I think, right now, waste money, right?
But that's kind of where we're at with that, and then I said on behalf of us, we're trying to get that speed limit reduced, the 90, further out. And then at some point, if there are people that are gonna be crossing that highway back and forth
Yeah.
between there. We might look at a crosswalk, like a light up.
Yeah, eventually, the
Mhm.
walking path is gonna cross right there too, so. There'll be
Yeah.
some work to do up there.
but all the other recreations seem to be up and going and
Yeah.
running and.
Yeah.
And doing very well.
Well, that's perfect, cause after Whitemud, that leads into my committee on that piece of ground as well.
Speaking of which, Whitemud,
No meeting.
Okay.
I think
Daycare,
they have their board meeting for everybody in Neepawa once a month, but I don't think we're having a meeting till spring.
okay,
No, I was at their meeting yesterday and they're looking at. Putting together RFP and everything to try, cause there's government grants and funding and stuff, so. They're gonna start talking to, you know, companies to come up with a model for a daycare out there. So, one of the things that came up was the infrastructure, right, so, I guess, you know, that stuff takes time, so it has to be budgeted, right?
Yeah.
But it was always in the plan. So, I think that we, like, for me anyways, like, I can, I'll make sure to keep. Everyone informed on both sides about, um. Timelines and when they're gonna do something, whatever, so we can budget properly to put a sewer line in and the highlight, cause it will need. Fire suppression as well, so we'll have to, because the building will have to have sprinklers, right? The
Mhm.
building and its daycare, so, we're just gonna have to make sure that we're budgeting properly and the timeline properly, cause obviously we'll have to put out like a, unless, I don't think we can do that ourselves across, like, where would the sewer run graded down, like, I know it goes down towards first, but how would we run it? I guess, like, for me, where if I'm sitting at that,
There's a stub on the north side of Skipwalk.
okay, yeah, cause there's stuff there, so.
Yeah, and there's a cross in the hydrant line, so it's all in balance.
Yeah, I remember that's all ready to go,
Yeah.
okay. So again, like, I guess we'll just, so I told them that the stuff was there because it was planned for that stuff to go in there anyways, but, but we need to talk with each other to make sure that we're. So they're not throwing a building in and then waiting for our infrastructure to go in, so I explained to them that stuff's really, it's gonna talk with each other and make sure that's good to go. The other thing too is they're trying to do, like some fundraising to get up on their, like, again, on their feet a bit. So, they've been talking a few things like a wine tasting thing and, maybe a Christmas basket thing, so keep your ear, and there's, I think there's a bingo, maybe a bingo thing coming out, turkey bingo or something?
Oh, yeah.
Turkey
Yeah.
bingo,
Yeah.
I heard it's a lot of fun, so keep your ears open for that.
Yeah.
And not just for daycare, but I'm like newer, like these small committees that are trying to get on their feet. I don't know if we can come up with a way, we don't need a policy, but maybe we do, maybe we don't. But something to help like subsidize them a little bit, so like if they're using maybe one of our facilities for us, their first social or baking or something, that maybe we can subsidize them a little bit till they fluff their bank account up, cause it's just kinda hard with the, you know, trying to rent the hall for something then, but you don't have the cash. And, like, you know what I mean, you know what I'm trying to get at, right? So
kind of bridge them a bit, yeah.
bridge them a bit, like
Yeah.
there's established committees that are out there that are really good, right? But then there's some new ones like, for example, there'll be other new ones along the way that maybe we can make. They can do their case, that's, you know, maybe or for a certain amount of time until they get on their feet, maybe we could subsidize some of that stuff for them, so.
Good. Good.
That's it.
Yeah. I put drop-in center on here, Grady, because I feel that this should probably be part of there, so I was gonna bring it up around the table, but I might as well bring it up now. I went to a couple of drop-in center meetings, I went to one this afternoon at 3. There was 17 people. at the drop-in. I guess, some of the members, like the people that go there, they just sat, the whole one long table was full, and I said to Tracy Bird, the chairperson, I said, are these all for the meeting? And I mean, it's good, if any, it's getting good, if anybody's seen, they've got the place painted outside, looks really sharp. One of the things that they didn't allow for in the paint contract was that little, lean-to at the center. And it just takes away from it, but the building looks really good, so. I asked Ruben today when he was there if he would give us a quote on doing top, inside, and around. He said it would probably be just as cheap to get 10 and have our guys at Parks and Rec just re-tin it, but I don't know. He's gonna send me a quote on painting anyway, and that could be determined. So if you happen to be talking to Callie before I am, give her a heads up, if that's coming in, she can maybe put that on the next buildings meeting or the, I don't know if it would be warranted for the joint council. I guess it is a joint building, so.
It is, yeah.
Well, Ruben's still doing it. He says he's got enough paint of each color to do that, whatever we decide, so. So that was that, and what else did I have on that? Drop-in center paint, oh yeah. And they wanna know about getting it painted inside. The last couple of meetings, they've been going to town, throwing out old stuff, taking stuff off the wall, patching, just giving it a general pretty up. And it came up today about, possibility of painting the inside, so the same thing, if you're talking to Callie, if she wants to get a couple of 3 quotes. Ruben said he'd be more than happy to quote, but I guess you need 2 or 3, so. And go from there, terms of reference, Tracy said she came and talked to you about that.
Well, yeah, terms of reference, yeah, so they had their constitution from 1982.
82, yeah.
And they were gonna go through and kind of put what they wanna see in it, and then I'll take the 2 documents and kind of make one working document out of 2. And then.
It's
we
pretty
can go
close
back
to
and
what they
forth.
want, but it's just to bring it up to 2024
Yeah.
standards. And then we had quite a discussion because. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, say 6 of us on the board. And the remaining 10 or 11 or 12 were just members. And they were barking and asking questions and that, so it was a little bit of back and forth, like. What's the use of having a board if the board can't make decisions? And some of these members that were sitting there felt that everything that happens, it should be a complete membership vote. Well, that's kind of not the way it works, so we got that kind of straightened down, so.
Was it old board members that were doing this?
Just the people that show up every day, so, you know, like. Why do we take the bench out and replace it with 2 chairs? Things like that.
Important
I
question.
mean, well, this is valid, I mean, if it's important to them, it's valid, but
Yeah.
anyways, it's just, you know, and. They've got $11,265 in their account, and I just reiterate it again, don't be afraid to spend the money.
Yeah,
If you need something, you know, like. They went around about cleaning the carpets, and it seemed to be a big decision, it's like, just make the call and clean the like carpets. So, then they wanna do something with the. Shuffleboard and the floor shuffleboard, and trying to get people to come out, and they do programs, and sometimes it's only 3 show up, and. They do crafts, and some people do crafts, but they don't wanna take it home, cause they got enough, just drop-in center stuff, so. But anyways, that's what that was, so I went to that meeting today. Yeah, okay, so that's, any more questions or comments on anything? No, okay. I'll read this resolution. We have resolution number 245-24, be it resolved that all reports be received by council as provided or presented, moved by,
Bill,
seconded by,
Mike.
all those in favor. Okay, carried. We have communication. From tax service, tax sale report, we've all read that, there's no tax sale. Westman Regional Library, we've all read that, I think.
Mhm.
Operating grant, Manitoba. Whatever that stands for. I'm drawing a blank.
Minister for Municipal and Northern Relations.
That's it. Operating grant final payment, we've already talked about that. Same thing, interim operating grant.
That's the handyman one.
Yeah. Any questions, comments on any of them? Okay. We have resolution 246-24, be it resolved that all correspondence be received by council, moved by.
Yep.
Seconded by
I will.
Debbie, all those in favor? Opposed, carried. We don't have anything added to the agenda, do we? Nope. Good. And it is time for around the table. Me, I guess. I said about the drop-in center. I go down here at Christmas party, but can we talk a bit about this in camera? Sure, please. And I was given a call the other day by a guy that I know, he's a contractor from Brandon, I've known him for a few years, several years, as a matter of fact, and he was building 4 plexes, 3 plexes, duplexes in Brandon. And he's the one that built that 3-plex that's on the corner of Young Street and 3rd Avenue, right across from where Dave Erickson lives.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, he built that. He's just finishing up building a couple of 4-plexes in Killarney. And he phoned me and he's interested in doing something in Carberry. So we had a bit of a chat about our last guy that wanted to come and do something in Carberry, and it kind of fell flat, never to be heard from again. This guy he's a straight up guy. And I've known him for years, and I think he'd be good. So I said I would forward his information on to Kara and get her to maybe touch base with him, and at some point, probably in the new year, because he's got to finish stuff up, and he said he probably wouldn't be able to start anything until spring or something like that. I said there's a couple, well, one being built anyway down on Fourth Avenue here, and I don't know what's going on with the house burned down, but something apparently. But yeah, he wants to discuss his financing options. He doesn't know whether to build fourplexes to sell or build them as condominiums and sell each one. Sometimes they're hit and miss or whatever, so. Or to rent it out, he's talking life leases, so there's a few things on his end to do, but I just wanted to make council aware that there is a player out there looking at Carberry, so. And I told him there's some places around town that I'm sure if he did some digging, like right now, the old Middleton House and Stu's empty lot.
Mhm.
Perfect place for a couple of fourplexes or
Mhm.
sixplex. I'm hearing bits and pieces about that property anyway, but that's another story. And other places in town, so. I said I'd keep in touch with him, so he's looking forward to it. He likes Carberry and he says he hears Carberry's a happening town. And I said, you bet it is.
Yeah, I'm willing to make sure there's no red tape for builders if they wanna come in, honestly.
I said we got some incentives and initiatives going on. We've talked around the table, even at the strat plan meeting about. You know, incentives, tax breaks,
Mhm.
you know, grants, I mean, in the grand scheme of it. They might not mean much, but anything's better than nothing kind of thing, so,
Well, it's way someone on building a fourplex and selling it or renting it, right?
yeah.
Cause if they're renting it, then they're keeping it active.
Anyways, that's all I got. Deputy Mayor Kalinowicz.
Oh, I don't really have much. I would like to try, we discussed this earlier today, I'd like to try some no parking signs on Market.
We just passed the bylaw tonight, so we'll get the signs ordered and get them up.
Everybody parks on the street? Really?
We talked about Fourth Avenue earlier today, and apparently there were signs there, but they haven't lasted, so.
What's the fee just? For CM,
What's the what, sir?
the footage like from the track,
I
Do they
I wonder if we can CN police, because, like on the other side of that walking path. I believe that's too close to the track to be parking your vehicle.
Yeah, well, we're
Like if
set,
that's ever being a problem, you can call CN police, right? And they can come out.
It's 10 feet to that walking path in the tracks.
well, as of now,
Yeah,
you have the ability to ticket that, so
Mhm.
we'll get the signs are ordered, Scott was looking after that, and they'll be put up, and then they can be ticketed for parking on that side of the street, so.
cool.
Can we put a sign that says, this is the way you go on the right side, this way you go on the left side, instead of everybody driving on the frickin' middle? And then the car has to pull over into the walking path, because the car is too far over this way, it's just a mess.
A motorcycle.
Great, can I get a sign that says I need a sign? More signs.
Here's your sign.
Yeah.
What's that song?
Sign,
Mhm.
everywhere is sign. Okay, that's all you got, Bill, or?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, Councillor Anderson.
Well, not much, just thank you to Public Works, I was out in the boat on Sunday, and as I went across First Avenue from Main Street, a big tree fell down in front of me. And I would have 20 years ago just picked it up, shoved it over on the avenue. Didn't quite happen this Sunday, so I texted Grady and to get somebody out, and then I was on my way home and something fell over on Young Street, so. Thanks you guys for coming up and getting the street cleared off.
Yeah, I went and had a look at it, and that was a heavy one.
Yeah.
Didn't look like it when you got up.
No.
close. It was,
Just about blew a nut trying to pick it up.
that's it?
Yeah.
Councillor Ray.
Just a follow up to the grass cutting on the corner coming into town. Thank you, whoever cut that. It looks so much better.
Our guys did that. And they're gonna be removing the fence and cleaning up that whole area. We'll talk to the property owner and we're gonna get that all tidied up and make it look like it's.
Yeah.
Part of town instead of part of the pasture. Yes.
But thank you too. to the men that did that, or females, I'm not sure who did it, so,
Was really, I think.
okay,
That it?
yep.
Okay, Counselor Sudak.
Just one thing, again, it came up on the news, I was like, oh, maybe this should be something to bring up at the meeting. But there's that news, thing on St. Andrews there. It's in the news, the mayor, they got outs. Not saying we're outing you or whatever, but it was had to do with them with a policy, like, so their ex-mayor is coming after them for legal fees. So like if, I'm just saying for that, you know, let's say in the future, not even us, it's another counselor or something that had to be removed for whatever reason. And they go and get legal representation, they kind
Okay.
of come
I
after
see
that.
what you're saying.
But the RM of St. Andrews said that they were coming up with a policy on to protect them against that, so I don't know if that's maybe something we look at, not right now, because it's not on the top of the list, but I just go home, watch the 11 o'clock news, we can talk about it again.
Did that just happen or?
Yeah, it was on the news tonight, right before I came over here, and I was like, oh, what a perfect time for this to come up.
I never heard
Case
about
just
that.
came up, but he was out quite a while ago.
She, was it
And
she?
so,
Yes.
so was it a removal,
'Cause the duties, yeah,
unwarranted
That's what she
removal?
yeah,
No,
but that's
not-
the
was it
argument.
Inspector Powers?
Yes.
The same one?
So then, again, like,
Oh,
went
okay.
to a lawyer, right, and then the lawyer's asking for
Yeah.
the fees back, but council was thinking about, like, they didn't have a policy to protect themselves, so. Whether it's, I know, like, we have legal things for people outside, but even for us, or for joint stuff or whatever, is there a way, like, we can protect
Yeah.
ourselves from,
Worth asking a
Yeah.
question.
right, you know what I mean, and, or maybe ask our lawyer. But,
Yeah,
but,
it's worth looking, because I think there's some stipulations in the municipal act that relate to that kind of thing, so.
yeah, but it's just like, again, like, going, you make it home for the 11 o'clock news watch, it's right kind of at the
Yeah.
beginning, so. It's just food for thought, something to think of, protect ourselves in the future, councils and CAOs. From, you know, legal, of course, legal action.
Yeah, that was a couple municipalities come together and everybody hated each other. That's where that all started, so,
Oh,
just so you know, down the street here.
Yeah, gotcha. That's it?
yeah, that's all.
Okay, Youth Councilor Boganis, you got anything, Christian? No? No, good. Grady, you got anything?
One thing that's just in this afternoon, he forwarded me, the CPKC holiday train is back. this
Oh, right, yeah. I've
Nice.
seen that.
Let's do it.
December 5th. At 5 o'clock.
Perfect.
5 p.m.
At the
Needs to get
same,
tickets for that.
Perfect time for a hot dog.
same spot, so we'll. Look at making some plans to do some activities for that. And more to come, but that just,
We've been pretty lucky with that train the last few years.
Well, they go
Yeah.
to the north sub,
Yeah.
like Minnedosa, and then they'll do Carberry sub the next year, they'll flip flop every year.
December 5th.
So if it's, yeah, usually if it's here like this year, then it'll be on the Minnedosa sub.
That'll look good, if Gary gets the lights going and.
Yeah.
The train, yeah.
Mhm.
What date is it, sorry, again?
December 5th.
December 5th at 5.
Okay, so it's not gonna interfere with the movie?
No, it's after.
Be done.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, that's all you got, Grady?
That's all I got.
You got anything, John?
Not this week, no.
Okay, that's it. We will move to go in camera. We have resolution number 247-24, be it resolved that council move in camera under section 1523B2 of the municipal act to discuss personnel matters. Moved by,
Mike,
seconded by
Debbie.
Debbie, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried.